I was first exposed to the union, and I signed my membership card. And I remember the steward saying to me and welcoming me, you know, this collective agreement here is something that we negotiated for you.
You as a worker, as someone who is working, your ability to work, your ability to not just share in society, but your ability to have a standard of living that often comes from your employment is so drastically affected by your childbearing.
My name is Sandra Clarke. I've been with the Public Service Alliance of Canada since August 1969. I started with the federal government in August of 1969, and I was hired at the low-level clerk position. I think I was a clerk 1 at the time. My baby was born December the 26th, 1970. There was no maternity benefits. All as you had that you were secure is that you would have your job to return to. So what I did, knowing I was pregnant, I saved my 3 weeks holidays. I took 5 weeks leave without pay. My baby was 8 weeks old. My husband and I rented a house next door to my mom and dad. My father was a civilian member of the RCMP. I handed my 8-week-old baby over the fence to my mother to babysit, and off to work I went. There were no benefits. There was no EI benefits. For a year, there was no 93% top-up. You just had your job. 1980 comes along. We had been negotiating for the past 2 previous years for a contract. Nothing was happening. Treasury Board wasn't giving in. Nothing. So then it came time, there was a strike vote. And you know, there was a lot of talk, should we vote for strike, shouldn't we vote for strike? Because the clerical and regulatory group was female dominated. And it was all working women helping support their families or single women. So it was amazing. We voted, and we voted in favor of a strike.
In my personal opinion now, and I've yet to be proved wrong, someone can go out and research it, but I'm still of the opinion that that was the largest white-collar female strike anywhere, because we had our membership, there was about 70,000 at the time, a little over 70,000, primarily women. And what did we know about going on strike? We went out, we knew we had to be out of the building, we knew we were going to carry signs, we knew we were going to walk around.
On Black Monday, we decided that we had to have an impact across Canada to bring the news coverage and to promote negotiations.
And it was amazing. It was great, the people that came out. Yeah, they were totally confused what was going on. Strikes were more for blue collar. Strike was for the trades. Strike was for someone else in private industry, not federal government, female, white-collar workers. But they did it, and they did it fine. And they came out with some of the best things that have gone on to help this organization.
Yeah, the lowly little clerks, the clerical and regulatory. Yeah, we're walking out. Yeah, I don't even think our employer could believe that we actually did it. I think maybe they thought they could delay or pull the fat out of the fire at the last minute. They probably couldn't believe we were in a strike vote position. We voted, and we voted yes. And they probably couldn't believe that we actually did it. I think our employer was stunned for a while. And they continued to be a little bit stunned for the next 2 weeks to see the participation and the enthusiasm of these clerical and regulatory persons out there. And like I said, most of them were women, and they were, you know, their salary supported the family or just themselves, willing to be on the picket line to get a point home, that we deserve respect, and we deserve to be treated fairly, and we deserve to be bargained with in good faith.
My name is Valerie Denesiuk. I am a retired member. My last component was Government Services Union. We at the bargaining table were aware it was something that was having high-level discussions. But yeah, the resolutions in and of themselves, and that's like I'm saying, was that they were not on our final priority list. But so when they showed up, we weren't going to say no for about 4 or 5 years at least, maybe a little longer. The CR group was the only one that actually had that, because we didn't have master tables or group tables at the time. So many people, not just women, but primarily women, were not, even though they'd clear boards to take AS positions or PGs or whatever, they wouldn't take the job because they weren't going to get care and nurturing. They weren't going to get child care benefits. They weren't going to get the same kind of leave. And that was a much bigger type of benefit to them than that couple of extra $1,000 a year for the other area.
My name is Lorne Roslinski. I've been a UTE and PSAC member for 27 years. My wife and I were not easily able to have children, and we were blessed with our daughter. It was a tough pregnancy. It was something that we spent a lot of time in the hospital. Juliana was born early, 29 weeks, or 27 weeks gestational is what she was. So she was early from the 40 weeks that you're supposed to be. She was 2 pounds, 3 ounces, and she was, she fit in my hand, the palm of my hand. What I was glad about with what I have for benefits for a union was I was able to take some parental leave and be able to bond with my family, and to be able to have that blessing of being able to be with them and know that I still had a job to go back to. I also had a paycheck. I had top up over and above what EI was giving. There was something to know that I could give the care to my children and to my family. As I said, you can't put a price tag on that.
When you're actually using those things and being able to progress things forward, it's very interesting to see how all of that has changed, and how things today, with things that people enjoy today, are benefits of some of the things that we did many, many years ago.
Having the parental leave, that was unheard of for a father to have parental leave. It's traditionally the mother that takes the leave. Asking your employer, if it was a private employer, to say, hey, can I take some time off? No, that wouldn't have happened.
And there's parental leave now for the fathers. There's adoption leave, which was never in existence. And, they can take this and have some family time and have the balance between work and family and raise your family and feel financially secure.
I do have a message for the members of the CR group back in the 80s. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. My family thanks you. It's because of those brave members that were willing to take a stand when others said it was never going to happen, when they said they can't be done, and they stood in that adversity. They put their needs aside for the collective good of everybody. They didn't know me back in the 80s, but that their work affects me.